Today I'm working on my little Pajero diesel small truck rear suspension. I don't have a big of a problem on it. I'm trying to figure out if the noise that's coming from the rear side of the car when I drive over the bumpers or on the off-roading or something like that, if that clanging noise or metal type of noise comes from the rear suspension or comes from somewhere else. In the front I replaced the upper ball joints and lower ball joint in the front wheels, but I haven't done any repair on the rear wheel except the brakes. The brake caliper, I did some work yesterday, and in order to work on this type of suspension system, let's say you want to replace the strut here. You want to replace, let's say, this upper ball joint that usually wears out. Sometimes the rubber, because of the age, in my car case it's about a 17 years old car, so some places the rubber gets small cracks, allowing the water to sneak in, causing rust and wear and tear, and at some points you lose some material on that ball inside, and you start making noises. Or this one as well, or the sway bar links, and you see the rubber gets kind of old and hard and start cracking. So in order to replace this one I would have to use some sort of a crimping tool, but I don't bother for now. I'll just use some tape, and I might do it later. But the most important thing is to check these ball joints here, and in order to check if there's any play inside, you need to compress the spring. So I've used the McPherson very old spring compressors, and it's obvious how you are supposed to install it on the springs. They are made with 2 U-clamps or U-bolts each, and you go around the spring wire, and it goes through this bracket. It has 2 nuts on each U-bolt or clamp, however you want to call it. And you tighten this one, you make sure you tighten. Then I use some grease, and I use some lubricant in here, because it requires lots of force in order to compress the spring. So you need a little bit of help with some lubricant. I've used some spray. You can use any type of lubricant, it should work as long as it doesn't rip. And the same thing on here. Ideally you're supposed to align this one diagonally on the spring, but because there's not much room here, I kind of managed to squeeze this second one in here, and with a ratchet here use a ratcheting tool, insert it there, and you may have to hold the nut at the bottom. Some people might be tempted to put these ones upside down. If you want to do that, I try that way, to have this one upside down and the nut would be up here, and it works, but at some point you may see the screw going all the way into the chassis, and you may think, I don't have enough clearance. So I think this is a better way to install this spring compressor. So once you release the pressure, you can actually lift the whole assembly a little bit, maybe half of a centimeter, maybe a few millimeters. I don't know, depends of your strength. But actually you can wiggle the whole thing, the whole control arm in here. So you will see the control arm kind of moving